Hope everyone's had a good weekend with the holiday, and I wanted to cover something that we're seeing more and more of that men do that does not fix or heal a sexless marriage. Because you cannot talk your way out of something you've behaved your way into. Now, and that is talking about the problem, because here's what happens. Well, I have a discussion with her. We've been without sex. She thinks it's been a few weeks since we've last had sex. It's actually 3 months. Oh, okay. Suddenly, it'll get better for a week or two. And then 4 months later, we're back in the same boat where it is still a sexless marriage. We haven't had sex. And I've seen guys say, I've had this conversation with her 3 or 4 times over the last year or two or more. At what point don't you realize it's not going to work? Okay. And I get a lot of guys getting offended when I talk about things they're doing that cause a sexless relationship. Wanting to blame her. Well, you could do everything. Yes, you can do everything right. She could have a hormonal issue. She could have other issues. But I'm focusing on what you can control, brother. And the reality is when you work on yourself to level up and become a high quality man that a woman wants to be with, that is growing connection, growing intimacy, has date nights, has created an amazing life for himself, those guys don't have this problem as much. And if you do, there comes a point you realize that maybe this relationship isn't working for you. Okay? So, stop talking about the sexless relationship. Okay? When men have a marriage crisis in the last more than half decade that I've dealt with, 98% of them haven't been dating their wife. Think about that. And 95 to 98% of them aren't spending time with their friends. So those guys, it is a you problem. Okay, so what we want to do is get back to being the man she fell in love with. You're doing stuff with your buddies. You're doing stuff for yourself. There's enough time for all of this. And again, don't make excuses. You're not the exception to the rule. Invite her to join you on the adventure. Schedule date nights. Do not think suddenly, magically, everything's going to be healed. But I have seen man after man do this. Start prioritizing himself, do the work, level up, and heal their sexless marriage. Because they didn't talk about it, they started changing the way they were being and the way they were acting. Now, do me a favor, hit the subscribe and like button if you would. But the reality is, brother, you have a lot of control in this situation. And if she truly is unwilling to work on herself, has hormonal issues, and has zero interest in sex, and at a certain point, you have to decide, is this the relationship you want? Because half of the guys end up divorced. But if you don't work on yourself first, you don't change these other things, you don't improve, you're going to repeat this in your next relationship and the next one. We see this all the time. So what I want you to do is love yourself enough to do what needs to be done to change your relationship. She will either turn back towards you and you will have a loving, connected, deeply intimate relationship, or you will realize you need to make a change. All right, brother? Below is my contact information. Reach out if you'd like to have a free conversation and start changing your world today. Talk to you later.